Once upon a time, in a picturesque coastal village, there lived a poor fisherman named Santiago. Santiago's days began before the break of dawn, as he would row his small boat out into the vast expanse of the ocean. His livelihood depended on the modest catch he brought home each day, just enough to feed his family and earn a little money at the market. Despite his meager means, Santiago found joy in his simple life, the rhythm of the waves, and the beauty of the sunrise over the sea. In stark contrast, high on a hill overlooking the village, stood a magnificent mansion. This was the home of Ricardo, a wealthy businessman whose riches were unparalleled in the region. Ricardo's wealth came from various successful ventures, and his life was filled with luxury and comfort. However, Ricardo was never truly happy. His days were consumed with endless meetings, and his nights were filled with worry about his investments and the constant desire for more wealth. One serene evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky with hues of orange and pink, Ricardo decided to take a walk by the shore. It was during this stroll that he encountered Santiago, who was returning from the sea with his daily catch. Curious about the fisherman's seemingly untroubled existence, Ricardo approached Santiago. "Good evening," Ricardo began, his tone a mixture of curiosity and condescension. "I've heard about you, Santiago. People say you are a happy man, despite your humble life. How is that possible?" Santiago looked up at Ricardo, his eyes filled with the wisdom of a simple yet fulfilling life. "Good evening, senor. Happiness does not come from wealth or possessions. It comes from appreciating what we have and finding contentment in simple pleasures." Ricardo frowned, not entirely convinced. "But don't you wish for more? Don't you want to escape the hardship of your life?" Santiago smiled gently. "I have all that I need. The sea provides for me and my family. I have time to enjoy the beauty of nature, to spend with my loved ones and to rest. That, to me, is true wealth." Intrigued, but skeptical, Ricardo invited Santiago to visit his mansion the next day. He wanted to show the fisherman what true luxury looked like, perhaps hoping to change Santiago's perspective. The next morning, Santiago arrived at the mansion. Ricardo gave him a grand tour, showcasing his vast gardens, opulent rooms filled with fine art, and a dining hall that could host 100 guests. Santiago admired the beauty and grandeur, but his expression remained serene and unchanged. After the tour, they sat down for lunch in a lavish dining room. Ricardo, still puzzled by Santiago's contentment, asked, "Now that you've seen my home, don't you feel envious? Don't you desire a life like this?" Santiago thought for a moment before responding. "Your home is indeed beautiful, senor, and your wealth is impressive. But I see how it binds you. You are constantly worried about maintaining and growing it. You have many possessions, but little peace." Ricardo was taken aback by Santiago's insight. "What do you mean? Look at the sea," Santiago said, pointing towards the window. "It is vast and free, yet it provides for all who respect it. My life, though simple, is full of freedom and joy. I am not bound by the constant need for more. I have time to watch the sunrise, to listen to the waves, and to enjoy the company of my family. That is why I am content." Ricardo fell silent, contemplating Santiago's words. For the first time he realized that his relentless pursuit of wealth had not brought him the happiness he sought. Instead, it had imprisoned him in a cycle of never-ending desire and worry. Days passed, and Ricardo found himself reflecting more and more on Santiago's wisdom. He started spending time by the sea, watching the fishermen at work, and gradually he began to understand the value of simplicity and contentment. One day, Ricardo decided to make a change. He simplified his life, focusing less on accumulating wealth and more on finding joy in everyday moments. He donated a portion of his riches to improve the village, building a community center and funding schools and health care for the villagers. Ricardo and Santiago became good friends, often meeting by the shore to share stories and enjoy the beauty of the sea. Ricardo learned to appreciate the small blessings in life, and in doing so, found the peace and happiness he had long sought. In the end, Ricardo discovered that true wealth is not measured by the abundance of possessions, but by the richness of experiences, the joy of giving, and the contentment found in simple, meaningful moments. And so, the village thrived, not just in material prosperity, but in a shared understanding of what it means to be truly wealthy. Santiago continued his life as a fisherman, and Ricardo, now a man of both means and wisdom, lived a life of peace and fulfillment. Together, they taught the village the invaluable lesson that happiness comes not from what we have, but from how we choose to live our lives.